Before we get into today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to Lee and Anonymous for the pizza. Let's get right into it. So today I'm finally answering what is the best workout to improve your Zwift racing. So in my opinion, and that's what this video is, this is the best thing you can do. You can race, crit city, either direction, in an all-cat start race. I think that is the best thing you can do. Number one, you're learning the skill of racing. So you're learning to draft, you're learning to position yourself, you're learning to respond to attacks and be as efficient as you can. You can't replicate that in a workout. So that's number one. Reason number two is that the way the course is laid out means that the race basically has every lap, one big effort, and you usually push in way into the red, trying to hold the front group. And specifically this mainly happens when it's an all-cat race, because the B's are chasing the A's, the C's are chasing the B's, the D's are chasing the C's. So every category sort of benefits from a faster carrot, if you will, and it really pushes you to try harder. I've never done a better 20-minute effort than in this race, so the proof's in the pudding, really. But yeah, as you can see, the efforts come around once a lap, and in between, which is sort of point number 3, you get really efficient at recovering after these big bursts of energy. So as you can see here, I'm just trying to stay in the draft, trying to be as careful as I can, trying to keep myself below threshold if I can. Obviously, because it's an all-cat start and we're chasing the A's, you are still pushing. I'm still doing FTP effort in between for this lap. So that's, again, really good race preparation. So I specifically use this training session to develop my punch. Since moving up to the B's, and I know me and Scott have both seen this, since moving into the B's, because I'm doing so much effort just to hold on to the front group, by the time I come to attacks or sprint segments or the sprint finish, my legs are toast and I can't put anywhere near a max effort out because I'm just not used to that level of intensity. So basically what I'm trying to do is replicate that as many times as I can, and I think this is the best way to do it because I'm essentially doing that however many laps there is. I'm doing a sprint segment, an attack, or a sprint finish in every single one of those. Obviously I'm not doing 1,000-watt efforts every lap, but I'm doing about 50 to 60% of that, which is still a good old punch. So yeah, trying to get the legs as used to those zone 5 efforts as possible. Short ones, 30 seconds or so. But yeah, let me know, guys, if you've ever felt that as well, where you move up a category and suddenly you feel like your sprint or your punching ability is really low. But I think it's just because I'm spending so much energy during the race holding on to the group that my legs are so tired. So this is definitely my favourite way to train this specifically. If you've got another way to do it, then let me know down below, because I'm still new to this whole cycling thing. So if there's a better way, then I'll definitely give it a go, and yeah, I'll give you some feedback. Because this is essentially a training ride, you don't really have to worry about the drop or the power-ups. So as you can see, for the first couple of goes up the kicker here, I didn't have a drop, so I had to drop more watts, which is, again, good training because you can't always rely on power-ups in races. So getting used to not having those and having to, use your own legs is good practice. As I said before, this is quite a good idea for almost all categories. I remember doing this when I was a D and a C, and it still works the same. It's not just a B category technique. But yeah, you can either do as little or as many laps as you want. Essentially, you just keep going until you get dropped. If you can hold on to the end, you're probably a B or an A, so well done to you. But also what you can do is each lap you can sort of test a different technique. So you could maybe change into a harder gear and sort of grind your way up there, have to get out the saddle, or you can try spinning it up. So you can do all these different things on each lap, and you get because the laps come around about every 2.5 minutes, you get really quick data on how is best to ride it, if that makes sense. So your bang for buck with this workout is at maximum, because there isn't any other workout really or race where you get to sort of keep trying the same hill over and over again, and you can really learn a lot about your strengths and weaknesses. So as you can see on this one, I tried to sort of delay my effort and then sort of ramp it up towards the middle and the end. So you can just try these little tips and tricks throughout the race, see what works for you. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, the recovery period in between each of the efforts is getting easier and easier. That's just how racing goes. People have tons of energy at the start. I mean, the start of this race was nuts. It was red all the way until the hill. But yeah, so you're basically replicating a race. You know, you can't really replicate that in training. So it's really good for building your Zwift racing fitness. Probably not great for building any other kind of fitness, but this is Zwift fitness related, so that's all we really care about. But yeah, I'm going to get into a normal commentary now because the race is nearly over, so we're going to skip to the exciting final lap. Okay, and into the final lap we go. So at this point, the A's are really pushing the pace of the group, and I am slacking behind. So we're back into red and orange, or just above FTP, so there is no resting on this lap at all. This is the benefit of the all-cat start. The A's really push the B's on. So yeah, here we go. I'm trying to conserve as much energy as possible, mainly because I'm really close to just dropping off completely. So I try and keep my aero boost. I probably should have used it about now so that I can hold on to this draft, but for some reason I had it in my head that I'll just wait until the sprint finish. But yeah, I should have been dropping it now. This downhill section, I always seem to catch people up because, I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit heavier. So yeah, I come past a few people, lapped riders, which always complicates things, which adds to the fun of the all-cat start, I think. But yeah, at this point I am really dead. I'm apologising to the chat, the live stream chat, for the poor show. But yeah, I was really happy with the race because it's an all-category start and I'm looking at a top 20 finish. And I think I finished maybe 10th in category B, which is pretty cool considering I've only just joined B-Cat and I'm settling in quite well. So yeah, here's the final push. We managed to get a whopping 690 watts, almost 700. But again, this is a training session. I wanted it to be hard. I wanted to be close to failure. That's what this is all about. And yeah, as you can see in a couple seconds, we managed to hit a power PB, which is exactly why I think this is the best way to do this workout, because that's a PB. Oh, I feel a bit sick. If I'd not gone out all guns blazing, I mean, look at that start. That start was ridiculous. Cheers Michael, cheers Cadman, thanks Anton. Yeah, look at that. 11-minute PB, 23-minute PB, 21-minute PB. Yeah, that's what I do it, Michael. Gotta get more punchy. If you've made it this far into the video, you are not far until we see my new FTP. But if you have made it this far, you clearly enjoyed it, so thank you so much for that. If you could give the video a massive thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done already, I'd really appreciate it, as it helps gauge whether these videos are actually any good. So yeah, thank you and have a good week, and hopefully you win some races. Get my sprinting. Let's go. I wasn't expecting that. So what's that watts per kilogram wise? 3.6. I'll take that. 3.6 FTP.